Alright, so this is a suggestion via Patreon. The name of the video is Are Elephants OP? Before we even jump into this, guys, yes. Yes, absolutely. I think their base stats are pretty much insane. I mean, they're walking tanks, extremely intelligent. They live pretty long, guys. So yeah. They may not be, super fast, but I do think that they're strong enough to basically, mitigate any of their flaws, to be honest, guys. And their tanks. So yeah, they're OP, guys.
This video was made in partnership with CuriosityStream.
My personal opinion, obviously. The Cape Buffalo.
Being the largest land build in the current meta has its advantages. Size
Guys, are Cape Buffaloes OP? Yeah.
Makes you much harder to defeat, simply by nature of having a higher HP stat, and also possibly having your weak points out of reach. However, size alone typically isn't enough to let any particular build reach a high tier spot in the meta, because large size comes with a lot of disadvantages too. The two most important ones are that being a giant makes defeating you worth a lot more experience, and that sustaining giant size requires significantly more food and water. Despite these challenges, there's no question that elephants have carved out a dominant niche in the African meta, which is saying a lot given that Africa is basically the Grandmaster League server of outside.
Right.
Elephants also boast a sizable player base in the Asia server, so how is it that they're so successful? For that, we'll need to look at the elephant build's stats and abilities. First, their stats. So it's probably no surprise that the elephant's HP...
Oh yeah, guys, their stats are crazy. Hold on. Just looking at this right now, guys, power, intelligence, so they're stronger than they are intelligent, and honestly, they're really close to us. I mean, I think for the most part, we're pretty much maxed out in intelligence. They are really close to that, guys, and that's scary. Yet, they have much more power than we do, much more defense, and much more HP. They have stealth? Because we have, no stealth, guys. None. Mobility, I can see that also, I guess, but yeah, so guys, elephants are much better than us stat for stat, I would say, guys. Except for our overall intelligence. That's it. That's the only thing I think we're winning in, guys.
And defense stats, both are quite high. The massive size of the elephant means it can take hits that would cripple or kill other players, such as the head bash of a fellow elephant. But the elephant also boasts a thick hide that allows it to negate damage of low power attacks, and more importantly, mitigate one of the main downsides of being massive, becoming riddled with parasites. On the offensive side of things, it's probably also no surprise that the elephant boasts a multitude of ways to deal serious damage. Their front-facing tusks act as a powerful disjointed hitbox that can both parry incoming attacks and impale any player too slow to get out of the way. The elephant build is also one of the only builds in the game capable of knocking down trees. This means that despite them not having the height advantage that giraffes do, they can still access the same treetop loot if they need to. It also means players cannot escape an elephant's attack by climbing up a tree. The elephant's trunk can also be used as a blunt force weapon or a grapple, but honestly that only scratches the surface of what a trunk is useful for. We'll come back to that. In the mobility department, we find one of the elephant's only weaknesses. Their top speed is nowhere near sufficient to let them outrun an attacking player or chase down a target. Luckily, their other stats...
Bro, I'm almost positive they can outrun us.
Generally,
I mean, not for distance, but at least initially.
...mean that they don't have to worry about this. However, low mobility has other implications too. Elephants are easily blocked by environmental barriers because they lack the ability to jump.
Right, I can
they aren't particularly fast swimmers either, although they have ways of managing this weakness too.
35,000 pounds.
Their last notable stat is their incredible intelligence level. It is among the highest in the game, tied for second place with the cetaceans like dolphins and whales. This gives them access to the tool use ability, problem-solving capabilities, cross-species cooperation-based strategies, and the ability to remember places on the minimap useful for survival, such as watering holes in times of drought. Due to the elephant's long lifespan, their intellect can cause them to gain incredible amounts of wisdom over the course of their playthrough, to the point where an experienced elephant may have better knowledge of its territory than even a human. So in terms of stats, elephants obviously have one of the highest base stat totals in the game, lacking only in mobility and stealth. But this alone would not be enough for me to give them a top tier rating. So what abilities do they employ to make use of their stats and dominate such a competitive meta? There are two that I want to discuss. First, their ears. The elephant's ears serve multiple purposes. They're more sensitive than human ears to sound, particularly low frequency sounds, aka the kinds of sounds elephants can make. Because of that, elephants can communicate over great distances via infrasound. This can be critical for coordinating team strategies and warning your teammates when danger approaches or if another herd is encroaching on your territory.
Yeah, guys,
in addition to their auditory uses, the elephant's ears also grant the elephant a heat resistance buff. Their ears can be flushed with blood and flapped around to lower their body temperature, ensuring that they never take damage from overheating. This buff is much more integral to gameplay in the African server, and so players tend to spec into larger ears when trying to compete there. That's a good ability, but I'm going to cut to the chase. Basically everything OP about the elephant can be traced back to their signature ability, their trunk. Because this ability does everything. Because it's a modified nose, the trunk grants
a modified nose
bonus to all detection and search rolls based on smell. This lets elephant players pinpoint which direction they need to head in order to find more food or water, and lets them know if an enemy player is nearby. But smell barely scratches the surface of what a trunk can do. The trunk's core...
Guys, after seeing all that, bro, that's super wholesome, actually. The elephant removes the hat from the guy's head and tries to put it on his head. Guys, I like the whole concept of that. That's special, right? The elephant knows where its head is. Respect. It's super intelligent, I'll give you that. But here's the thing, guys. I personally would never mess with one of these animals. And specifically after seeing what the trunk did to the other guy a couple of moments ago. Bro, imagine, I think the guy, he may need some type of facial reconstruction surgery, guys. That was brutal, guys, for no reason.
Core use is as a fifth appendage. The elephant's actual limbs aren't very versatile. Outside of standing and walking, the most advanced move they can do is a pretty simple kick. The trunk, however, has multiple combat moves, including a simple dash attack, and more importantly, a highly effective grab attack. The bash attack is honestly worse than a kick in terms of damage, although it does have better range. But the grab attack can make certain matchups downright unwinnable for the other player. Grabs aren't just useful for attacks,
that's a different type of strength. That's
being
like
able to pick up and carry
guys.
items is the hallmark of a high-tier character that can make use of tools. Elephants are known to use sticks as weapons, massively extending the hitbox of their trunk swipe attack. They can also throw items, which theoretically could give them an absolutely massive attack range. They aren't very accurate with their throws yet, but once the elephant player base masters this tech, I wouldn't be surprised if the community starts calling for bans. But again, there's still more that the trunk can do.
Right.
The next use it can have is for intimidation. Elephants can use their trunk to execute the move Trumpet Blast. This AoE attack casts an intimidation debuff on all surrounding players, and is extremely effective for clearing an area. Control over a watering hole can mean the difference between leveling up or getting a game over, and the Trumpet Blast attack is integral to the elephant's success in driving away other players from these control points, without actually needing to risk a physical battle. Lastly, I mentioned before that elephants are slow swimmers.
Fear in other animals.
Normally this would be a problem because it means elephants would have trouble crossing large bodies of water. They aren't dense enough to sink to the bottom and gallop across like hippos do. However, even though it might take them a while to cross, elephants have no reason to fear drowning, because they can use their trunk like a snorkel, completely negating the need to worry about their O2 meter draining. Aside from humans, elephants have no losing matchups. While they are vulnerable during the first few levels of their playthrough, before they are bulky enough to shrug off most attacks.
I don't think I like seeing
the elephant's team strategies are usually enough to protect the noobs. Hopefully this video convinced you how overpowered elephants, and particularly the trunk ability, are. By the way, you may have noticed that my last video actually got blocked. While I hope to have the video restored soon, you should know that the blocked video as well as another completely original video are both available on Nebula, the video streaming service created and owned by several independent creators, including myself. It's a platform where creators can post whatever content they like without having to worry about rogue algorithms.
Alright guys, so really quickly. Is the elephant OP? I kind of started out this video overall under the impression that elephants were OP regardless. I knew the intelligence stat was going to be super high. I just didn't expect for it to be as close to us. But I still personally wouldn't kind of go up against an elephant like man to man anyway, guys. I'm not trying to be trampled. The fact that it also kind of back kicks similar to a horse, I don't think I like that. That changes things. I think, well, not really. I would have never gone close to this animal anyway, so I think I was fine there. I do like watching them from afar. They are absolutely majestic. They are giants, maybe gentle giants, but the fact that the guy got kind of, hit in his face with the trunk, I mean, that says to me that they may not be that gentle, or that person was antagonizing this absolute giant being that doesn't forget anything, it seems, right? maybe he deserved it. That could be that. I don't want to say the man deserved probably getting forced to be getting facial reconstruction surgery, but either way. Right, listen, let me know in the comments of the next one of these we should be checking out from Tier Zoo, and I will get into that as soon as I possibly can. All right, we've been doing these things kind of every day now, so tell me which ones are the best, guys. Right, but yeah, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day and enjoy your day thoroughly.